Hello, this is Kirill from forexboat.com and welcome back to the course on testing and optimization in MetaTrader 4. Today we're going to be launching the real tests of our Expert Advisor Simple System version 5.0. In front of you here you can see my Forex VPS with the 4 demo tests that we have been running so far. But at the same time I have opened a real account. I've opened it with Alpari, but that's not necessarily my favorite broker by any means. If you would like to find out who my favorite broker is, please visit me on www.forexboat.com/brokers, and there you'll be able to see a comparison of the different companies that you can trade with and which ones are better for expert advisors, which ones are better for manual trading, which ones are better for different types of algorithms, and so on. So going back to our real test, here we have a terminal from Alpari, and this is where we're going to be running the test. There's $500 of funds here already, and all we have to do is launch our Expert Advisor. But before we do that, there's one thing that we have to check. Because our Expert Advisor simple system is highly dependent on time, we need to check how the time of the broker compares to, or the server time of the broker aligns with the server time of the other broker or the other server where we did our demo tests. So our demo tests, as you can see here, we did in the eGlobal terminal, and the market watch time there is 48 minutes past midnight on Monday the 22nd of September. Whereas the Alpari terminal, the server time is 1 hour 48 minutes past midnight. So that means that there's a shift in the charts, and we can even see that if we zoom in to the chart and pick out any given bar. So let's do that. Let's zoom in, and for example, I'll just zoom out actually a little bit. So if we pick this long bar and look at what time it occurred. So here you can see at the bottom that it occurred at 10 o'clock on the server where we were doing our demo test. So now if we go to the real server where we're going to be running a test with real funds, if we look at the same long bar and we look at the time when it occurred, you'll notice that it occurred at 11 o'clock. So therefore this whole chart is shifted by 1 bar to the right in comparison to the demo test. And that's something we have to take into account when we're launching our Expert Advisor. Now, if you're working with an Expert Advisor that doesn't take time to account in his algorithm, then you don't need to think about these things. But in our case, it's very vital that we do make this adjustment. So we're going to be doing that. Also, I wanted to show you that I've already copied Simple System version 5.0 into the terminal. And also you'll see another Expert Advisor Simple System version 5.1. The only difference between these two is that in Simple System version 5.1 I added another parameter which is the magic number, and that kind of allows you to launch many of the same Expert Advisor in one terminal and them not to interfere with each other's trades. So you can download Simple System version 5.1 from the same place where you downloaded Simple System version 5.0. It comes together with this course. It's no additional charge, and you can download it for free from there. So please feel free to do that. Now what we want to do next is we want to run, before we launch the Expert Advisor, we want to run some tests in the tester just to make sure that the results align with what we saw in the demo, in the general demo test. In order to run these tests correctly, you have to open your chart which you're going to be running Expert Advisor on, and first get as much history as you can. So how to do that is you press home, the home button, while you're on the chart, and you will see it adding more data. And you also need to make sure you do that for all the other time frames if you're going to be running a test using the all ticks model. But we're going to use the open prices model because we know that for our Expert Advisor it doesn't really matter. And there we have Simple System 5.1, currency pair British pound, period 1 hour for open prices. I've already set the time interval to when we started running our back tests. So the 8th of May 2014, and the end date I set it as today. And so what we're going to do is we're going to load the expert properties. So as we agreed, we're not going to be considering that first set where there were no profitable trades at all. So we'll start with the second set, set 2, where hour was 9. And now, as we know, we need to adjust the time. So if that long bar was at 10, and then now in the Alpari terminal it's at 11, so we have to change start hour. We have to increase it by 1 in all of our sets. So we'll change it to 10. Also, we have to take into account that Alpari is a 5-digit broker, and we need to adjust our set accordingly. So min pip limit, we have to multiply it by 10. Take profit, have to multiply it by 10. And stop loss, we have to multiply by 10. The rest of the parameters we don't need to touch. And as you can see here, there's a magic number that will be important when we get to launching the expert advisor on the real account. It doesn't affect the strategy tester runs. So we'll click OK, and we'll click Start, and we'll look at our report. Our report looks reasonable. If we compare it to what we saw in our back and test and forward test, it will look very similar. And so that's a good sign. That means that your expert advisor performs on this real Alpari terminal very similarly to how it performed in the demo test runs that we have been doing so far. So let's check another set. The next set, the set 3 with hour 4. Open that, quickly adjust these ones by 10, and let's run that and have a look at the result. So here we have an unexpected dip or a drawdown, something that we did not see on the back test and forward test. That sometimes happens, and it means that the historical data that's stored in the Alpari terminal is different to what was stored and what we used in the eGlobal terminal where we ran the demo test. So that basically signals to us that we must be very cautious with the set if we are going to use it. We cannot really rely on the results of the demo test, back test, and forward test. We do see here a upward trend that is very favorable, and that's why I will launch this set, not just to see how it goes, but we will launch it with very small lot because we do have to be cautious with it. And finally, let's look at the last set where hour was 8. Here we have to change it to 9, multiply these by 10, and click OK, and let's run that. As you see here, we have a very linear, smooth graph, something that we saw in the back test, forward test, and demo test, where we didn't have even one loss over the 2-week period. So this is very good, and I think we will focus on this set as the main one. Now we can close the tester. We don't really need it anymore, and we want to launch the expert advisor. So we're going to open 2 more charts for the British pound 1 hourly time frame. We'll go down to Simple System version 5.1, and we'll just drag it onto our charts. So here we're going to go to Inputs, Load. It's on the desktop, Sets, and we're going to load this set first. And here we have to change, of course, this to 10. This is going to be 80. We're just adding zeros at the end for the stop loss, take profit, min pip limit. And the next thing that we need to think about is the lots. So I've prepared some calculations here. And as you can see, for this set, the take profit is 106 pips. So if you subtract the 3 pip spread, then it's $10.30 of profit per every 0.01 lots. Stop loss is 28 pips, so it's $3.10 profit per every 0.1 lots. Similar calculations have been done for the rest of them. And so this set is the one we're going to set at 0.02 lots, meaning that per day we can maximum lose about $6.20, which makes it about $30 or $31 in a week that we can lose maximum if all trades are not profitable. So that's something that we can tolerate, and with a $500 deposit, and that's what we're going to set it at. So let's set it at 0.02. The magic number, which is going to leave it as it is for now, for this set. Next, we're going to move on to the next chart, simple system version 5.1, load desktop sets, and we're going to load the next set. This is the one we can't really trust. So first of all, we're going to do all necessary adjustments, 50, but the lot will set it to the least one we can, 0.01. We have to change the magic number, so you can put in any number, absolutely any number here, as long as it's different to the number of the first set. But here I'll just increase it by 1, and that will make sure that the sets don't interfere with each other's trades. Okay, there it is, happy and running. And finally, simple system version 5.1 on this chart. We're going to load the right set here. This is the 8-hour one. This is the one we like the most. We have to change this to 9. Min pip limit is 100. This is 200. This is 600. And now we have to change the magic to put a 3 on the end, or any number you like, as long as it's different to the previous ones. It's just like an identifier of the trades. And lots, we're going to set it at 0.03 because this is the set that we like the most. Click OK. There it is running. And so that's how we set up the real test to run. You might be wondering why I have a Eurodollar chart open here. Well, that's because I have another expert advisor running, which is a watchdog. It doesn't create any trades, but what it does do is it makes sure that the connection to the server is always current. It's always green over here, and that there's always a possibility for the other expert advisors to monitor their trades, to create trades, to close trades. Basically, it makes sure that the connection is always there. And this is something that I use in all of my trading terminals all the time, because it definitely gives me that advantage that when I'm away, I can be confident that my expert advisors are online and that they're working 24 hours, 5 days in the working week. And if you would like to learn more on how to set up a watchdog and how to make sure that your trading terminals are safe and that they're reliable and that you can be confident that your expert advisors are trading all the time, do check out my other course, which is Forex Boat VPS setup for algorithmic trading. I know that I've already mentioned it to you in this current course, but I just want to say that I think that the information there can be very valuable to traders, especially us who use algorithmic trading systems to make profits on the Forex market. This course can definitely help you sleep better at night, knowing that if anything happens on your VPS, a connection disruption, a power shortage, a reboot, maintenance, whatever, that the tools that you've set up, including this watchdog, that these tools will make sure that your VPS is up and running as soon as possible and your expert advisors are back online, and that your losses are minimized if there are any at all. So that's for today. The real test is on its way, and we'll check in soon to see how it's going. And I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Until then, happy trading.